Today we travel south to one of the most famous circuits on the Great British calendar. We're at Brands Hatch in Kent. Welcome to Euro F1 Sidecar Challenge.
Welcome to a gorgeous weekend at the instantly recognisable Brands Hatch circuit for round 5 of the Eastern Airways European F1 Sidecar Championship. We have glorious weather, we have a large crowd here waiting for today's action. But first, let's take a minute to look back at the last round at Cadwell Park. The highlights, of course, were the usual suspects there with the Birchells and Tim Reeves straight out in front. The circuit, really hard work for the passengers there, all sorts of action all the way through the races. We had the bright yellow outfit there of Alan Scud Schofield, yet again being Mr. Consistency with an excellent start, but it really was about the two front runners. They got away there, lots of overtaking going down through with the new black liveried Scott Lorry having a good day as well. But as you'd expect, the front two starting to stretch away. The Birchells got away in race 1 with that big number 1 plate as 2009 world champions, but straight away you can see how hard the work was there for the pair of them. Passengers really having to put the effort in. But the Birchells, it was their local event, don't forget, all of their sponsors and fans were here urging them on, and they needed a good result to put their championship back on course. But it didn't go according to plan for them, unfortunately. They had problems during the day, which included some machine troubles, which allowed Scott Lorry on that new black outfit and Scud Schofield to score good points again. Scott Lorry, of course, the 2009 Scottish champion, took race 1 victory somewhat unexpectedly, but he was delighted. Schofield, as ever, solid second place there, and the Birchells got going again despite a small scrap to finish in 4th. Reeves and Clues got away in front, and Schofield again had a blinding start on the yellow number 15. The 77 right at the front, and Birchall sat there in 3rd place again. There is Scott Lorry having another good race here in race 2. But the Birchells were scything through the pack on what is a notoriously difficult circuit to pass on. But it didn't seem to worry them. But also, Roger Lovelock on the green outfit, the number 49, right round the outside of Schofield. Number 3, Barry James with stand-in passenger Mark Howard having a good day, but Scott Lorry overcooks it on the corner and took out Schofield and Thomas as well. But drama continued as suddenly the 77 at the front of the outfit looked to have everything all sewn up. Tim Reeves suddenly had a fuel problem, and in fact he didn't even make it to the end of the race despite his efforts to actually score some points. So a certain win and 25 points disappeared, handing the victory to a very grateful Birchall brothers, who celebrated their victory much to the delight of their supporters. That's exactly what they needed this weekend. Second place, it was the 49 of Roger Lovelock with Rick Lawrence, with a good result for them. But the Birchells very happy and things going their way. These are the championship positions coming into Brands Hatch today, with Reeves and Clues on 193. But Schofield and Thomas, courtesy of their consistency, in 2nd, and the Birchells playing catch-up in 3rd place. Further down the order, Clark and Graham in 12th, Napton Belsley 13th, Holland and Watson right the way down to Roger Body and Barrett in 20th position on 8 points. Further points being scored right down the order there, with Robinson and Farmer 24th and Richardson and 2 on the 117 in 25th position. On to Brands Hatch for round 5. These days the paddocks are a far busier place because the teams are much bigger and better prepared. Organisation is down to one man, Stuart Muldoon, the paddock manager.
We've grabbed Stuart Muldoon here, former sidecar driver. Tell us a bit about why you had to stop and your involvement now with the Formula 1 Sidecar Championship.
2 years ago, I was diagnosed with having MS. Basically, it just happened over. I woke up one morning, blind in one eye, and that was the start of it. So, but I'm currently in charge of the paddock manager for the British Formula 1 Sidecar Championship.
It's great to have you here, and we understand you went out on circuit yesterday and had a little play. Did it bring all the feelings back?
Yeah, it was. They had a taxi ride session yesterday, and all the money raised was for Help for Heroes. They were planning to do it behind the safety car, but that was deemed to be a bit too slow. So I went and dragged my bike out the garage, and I was the pace setter for them, but of course I set my own pace and no one could keep up with me. But yeah, I had some good fun. It did kind of trigger some good feelings that I want to do it, but I'm not in a position to be able to do it. I don't think I could commit 100% like I used to. So from that point of view, it's better to stand on the sideline and manage things.
You were known as a bit of a ruthless driver in your time. I see the Beast is back here this weekend as well, up for sale, I understand.
Yep, bike up for sale. I want to do other things. I want to concentrate more on the management side. But yeah, the bike's here. It's been completely stripped, rebuilt, ready for sale. It's sad to see it go, but things happen, don't they?
And what have you made of this year's championship so far, and who is your favourite to win?
At the moment, with the way the results have gone, I think Tim Reeves is in a very strong position to clinch the title. But you can never rule out Birchall. You know, the Birchall brothers are absolutely flying. Current world champions. Everything's immaculate preparation. The way they approach a race, just everything's right. There's been quite a few different winners this year, quite a few different faces on the podium, but I think the championship is going to be between those two. So there's plenty of. There's still quite a lot of racing left, but it's been very entertaining, very, very close. There's 5 seconds covering 24 bikes here this weekend at Brands, and that hasn't happened for a number of years.
Well, thank you for talking to us, Stuart. We'll let you get back to your paddock management and have a good weekend.
All right, thank you very much. Cheers.
Tim Reeves and Greg Clues, pole position here at Brands Hatch. You looked mighty quick in qualifying.
Yeah, thanks. Things seem to be going really well, and obviously this is my home track. You know, this is where I started racing. I'm from just up the road, so I do know my way around here quite well, which helps. So yeah, it's good, and I was really enjoying riding my bike, and I think that, you know, if you're enjoying it, you go better, don't you? So yeah, things are looking good, really.
It's an opportunity to extend your championship lead this weekend, also.
Yeah, we've had a disastrous 2 meetings at Alton and Cabell, so we need to. You know, we had a fair lead and we've lost a few points. The boys have dragged back on us, so we need to try and get our head down here and see if we can, you know, get the gap bigger again and give ourselves a bit more of a cushion, really.
And Greg, in French, how have your chances this weekend? How do you think you're going to go?
Very good. We've made some changes to the machine, especially for this weekend at Brands Hatch, and it seems to have worked very well for us. I'm looking forward to the races.
And Tim, as your driver, how have you found him this season? It's been a good championship so far. Is he a good driver?
Tim is a very good driver, and it's an absolute pleasure to passenger for him in this championship. I very much look forward to continuing to do so.
Well done to both of you on qualifying, and maybe we'll see you up on the podium for the race.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
So, first up, we're going to show you brief highlights of what happened during Sunday's racing here for the Bank Holiday Euro F1 Sidecar Challenge at Brands Hatch. As the teams all lined up on the grid, it was Tim Reeves, as suspected, on pole position. Alongside him would be Ben and Tom Birchall. You can see there, number 1. The Mansfield brothers looking to overcome Tim on what is classed as his home circuit. Just spoke to French passenger Greg Clues there, looking for good things. Looking further back there, we can see Gilbert and Allen and Napton and Belsey. There's Clark and Graham as well, the Northern Irish riders. And there we are on board with Schofield and Thomas, a new coloured outfit, just to make things even more difficult for myself and Roger this weekend. Black with a luminous yellow writing. Off they went into the first corner at Paddock Hill Bend here at Brands Hatch for the first race that took part on Sunday. The team's preparing on pit wall for them to come round. We're on board here with Schofield and Thomas, the team that have been on the podium lots this season, but still crucially looking for that first win. They were, as you can see, heading into clearways just behind Birchall's, with Tim Reeves and Greg Clues leading the way, making their way round clearways and onto the start-finish straight. As you can see there, Reeves and Clues going across the line ahead. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence on the lime green machine, not quite as quick as we were expecting to see them. They'd be a little bit disappointed that they couldn't qualify in the top 3, but all the way down the field, as Tim Reeves mentioned earlier, there was not a lot to split between any of them. On board here with Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, of course, they won at Alton Park a few rounds ago, having a good scrap there with Clark and Graham. And then we can see Gordon and Darryl Pottinger there, just behind, and number 11, Gilbert and Allen as well. And we're on board with Schofield and Thomas looking from the rear. As you can see there, Reeves and Clues were leading after 5 laps ahead of Birchall's. Barry James and Mark Howard were doing ever so well in 3rd place. We can see there 117. Bill Philp making his return to sidecar action, but no one could keep up with Reeves and Clues, number 77. There's Schofield and Thomas going through, trying to get up to 3rd place ahead of Barry James and Mark Howard. A little bit further back there, we can see Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes, the all-white number 8 machine, as they head round clearways. This circuit, as opposed to Cadwell Park, is a little bit easier for the passengers. Only the first few corners and maybe the last corner is the clearways, where the passengers have to do work. But around Graham Hill, Cooper Strait and Surtees, pretty light work for most of the passengers. Tim Reeves having a big look over his shoulder, and he's quite a distance ahead of Ben Birchall. We can see Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson there doing everything they can to climb up to what was going to be an eventual 5th position finish. We can see there the pit board for Scud Schofield and Steve Thomas. Currently in 4th place they were, with Bell and Hawes just behind. Heading up into Druids Corner, we can see cement dust there from oil from an earlier incident in the solos. Exiting Druids then, they make their way downhill into Graham Hill Bend. And there they go, number 15. Currently 2nd in the championship, there's Lovelock and Lawrence. Number 49, making headway to come 6th overall eventually. Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes unfortunately slipped down the pack after a little while. One by one, Peach and Richardson made their way through up to 5th position. It wasn't a particularly good day though for number 5, Edwards and Wynne. They had to pull out of the race, but it was a win then for Tim Reeves and Greg Clues from the Birchalls. And in 3rd place, Barry James and Mark Howard. 3rd place and another podium for Barry James and Mark Howard. Great result, finishing ahead of Schofield and Thomas.
Yeah, it was a good we made a really good start. Got into the first corner behind Birchall. Just managed to keep it there and put our heads down and get on with it.
Do you think tomorrow, when we're obviously at the 2 races, you can keep up with the Birchall's pace?
We can try. We've got a few adjustments to make, and hopefully we might be there.
And Mark, how have you found it on the back this weekend?
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good fun. I like it around here. It's a bit like a go-kart track, I suppose, isn't it? So, it's been good.
Have you had any problems with getting the power down? I noticed a lot of people have been going through some tyres.
Well, as we're on a standard engine now, we're struggling on power. We're destroying the rear still, but we're not doing too bad with power out the corners.
Well, well done to both of you for getting your 3rd, and hopefully we'll see you on the podium at the end of the 2 races.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
2nd place on Saturday's race with 2 more to go. Ben, you found the pace after a few laps and were able to keep up with Reeves's lap times, but it was just those first couple where they got away.
Yeah, you got the drop on me in the first couple of laps, but it's been good today. You know, my bike's working well, team's working well, so we'll just make a few changes tonight and have another go tomorrow and try and get out the traps a bit quicker.
And Tom, with the surface of the circuit having been relayed, have you found any grip issues at all?
Last night it rained quite heavily, so I think it's brought a bit of muck to the surface today. It has been quite slippy out there, but you know, it's no real problem. We'll just go again tomorrow and try a bit harder.
So game plan for obviously today's race is get to the first corner in first.
Yeah, that's the one. Get there first and stay there.
Well done to you both, and we'll see you a bit later on in the race.
Thanks very much.
Winners of the race from Saturday, Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. That looked pretty easy. You look pretty comfortable.
Yeah, the bike's going good. Everything seems to fall in place well. Yeah, it was good. It was spot on. I mean, I'm Branches where I started racing, so I know the place quite well, and it all seemed to go good. Yeah, the Honda's working really good at the minute, so yeah, I'm over the moon. And the bike just feels, for some reason, we've got the chassis handling really well, and it just feels like it's part of me, and I can get it tied up in knots, and I can get it back. It's just, it's great. It's a pleasure to ride.
It seemed you did all your work in the first few laps. You'd pulled on the Birchalls, and then although their lap times came down, they were never able to catch up with you.
No, I got my head down for the first 4 or 5 laps, and I kept my eye on him where he was, and then just, the thing is, I do enjoy riding here, and if you're enjoying riding your bike, you ride well. So, yeah, it's good. I'm really pleased and looking forward to tomorrow now.
And Gregory?
Yeah, very good race, a very good feeling with chassis and team. I'm very happy. It's good for championship. Yes, thank you very much.
Well done to both of you.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
So on to day 2, 50 points on offer. The grid lineup as we head into Monday's races. It is the Reeves and Clues pairing on pole position in front of the Birchalls. Peach and Richardson, James and Howard in row 2. Row 3, Lovelock and Lawrence. Schofield and Thomas thought they would be further up. They are on row 3. As we head further down, Bygroves and Briggs, Chaplow and Everson, row 6. Shand, Lawrenson, Napton, Bowsey, row 8. Right through to Roger Body and Lee Barrett on row 10 and Holland and Watson. So rounding out the grid, we've got Drown, Swift and Guy McBride on 11, Robinson, Farmer and the Sloanes on row 12. So everything pointing to a great afternoon's racing here at Brands Hatch. We're going for a very short break. Don't go away. Round 5 of the Eastern Airways Euro F1 Sidecar Championships. It is day 2 here at Brands Hatch, and we're ready to go. As usual, it's the 2 big teams on the front row. It is Tim Reeves, Greg Clues, and the Birchalls, of course. Barry James with temporary passenger Mark Howard in there, still having a good day. Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, past winners so far in the series, and the new liveried Alan Schofield and Steve Thomas. Pottinger's there, also on a black outfit, so we're going to get very confused during the course of the day. John Clark, Stuart Graham. As we head right back down the order, you can see a lot of riders on. It's a lot of cues crewed right the way down the order there. So we're ready to go. Race 1 here on day 2. 25 points on offer. We're on the Indy circuit, the shortened version, 1.2 miles, 6 bends on this. So a relatively easy circuit for the passengers, apparently, but a lot is going to depend on setup and on the drivers themselves. So here we go. We're ready to go. The sun is shining. The crowd wait with anticipation. Who's going to get the gate? And Reeves and Clues got the initial jump, but the Birchalls get the drive down and the clear leaders into Paddock Hill Bend as they dive down the hill. But look how close it is, side by side. Reeves and Clues got on the inside, but the Birchalls back there. Local man, don't forget, Tim Reeves. He knows this circuit better than anybody, so that shows as he's got himself right round the outside of Druids Bend, down into Graham Hill for the first time.
Yeah, that was a great shot there of all the sidecar outfits making their way through Paddock Hill Bend. Tim Reeves then a force to be reckoned with when it comes to Paddock Hill Bend. He's without doubt the fastest man around that corner as they head into Clearways. A very small advantage over the Birchalls, who'll be doing everything they can, Roger, to keep with Reeves, who's been unstoppable so far.
Well, let's just remind you of the championship coming into today. Don't forget, it is Reeves and Clues who lead, with Schofield and Thomas in second by virtue of their consistency. And in fact, there they are, the number 15, with another good start in third place. The Birchalls third in the championship, but 31 points back. So Birchalls really do need a good weekend's results. As we say, another 50 points on offer here this weekend. Down there into Graham Hill one more time, and straight away you can see they're starting to stretch away. But as it was said earlier, the top 20 outfits covered by less than 5 seconds. That shows you how close things are around this very, very tight circuit.
Schofield and Thomas, number 15, as we mentioned, they're second in the championship on the black outfit. There they go through there. Just ahead of Barry James, Mark Howard, there's Peach and Richardson, who are third on the grid, so they've lost out on a couple of places. Can they make it up at the start as Reeves goes across the line to complete another lap? Birchalls are having a look up the inside into Paddock Hill Bend, and they've made it stick. Great manoeuvre.
Yeah, bit of drafting there, and they just drove around, but look, straight away you can see Tim Reeves cuts inside again. Is he going to have the inside line coming into Druids? We'll see as they head up the hill into that tight right-hander. The rest of the outfit's all powering through. But the Birchalls have hung on this time. The number 1, the 2009 World Champions, don't forget. Currently, they are third in the World Championship as well. But look as they go down the long straight at the bottom there, Cooper Straight, and into Clearways one more time. The long right-hander here, it's very hard on tyres. Don't forget also Yokohama tyres for Reeves and Clues, and Avon tyres for the Birchalls. So 2 different takes on the same theme. Round they go, Clearways. Another lap is clicked off. Very, very short laps here, under a minute. Lap times going through as they head round one more time and into that famous Paddock Hill Bend.
You can see there the Birchall's nose just twitching a little bit, but Reeves and Clues catching them as they go down into Paddock Hill. Unlike solo racing, it is not quite so easy to overtake going up into Druids on a sidecar. There's not a lot of room. Graham Hill Bend also, you can't do it. As you can see, the Reeves there. Oh, and they've touched momentarily. They go down into Graham Hill. So Druids and Graham Hill Bend, no real chance to overtake. You can just sneak up the inside of someone into Surtees on the left-hander. But other than that, and getting the power on early at Clearways, really is Paddock Hill the only place, really, that you can overtake round here.
Battle for third going on there. Schofield and Thomas and Barry James and Mark Howard having another cracker on the number 3 there. Mark Howard, although only temporary, seems to have settled right down there with Barry James, and they've had a couple of good rounds. But the Birchalls starting to stretch away gradually at the front. They are the ones running Yamaha engines, don't forget, LCR chassis and those Avon tyres.
Well, here they go then into Druids, Roger, and it was very close that time. Reeves and Clues took a wider entry point to try and get the drive. Oh, and they're looking at, well, you cannot go around the outside at Graham Hill. That's one thing I do know as they exit. So Reeves and Clues look like they might just be being held up a little bit here.
Well, it really is tough to overtake cleanly around here, Steve. It might take a bit of contact, I think, don't you?
Well, possibly. Oh, they're up the inside, just as you say that, into Clearways. A fantastic manoeuvre there from Tim Reeves. He really is a master at finding every inch of tarmac around any circuit we go to. Brilliant manoeuvre there from Reeves and Clues. Birchall's coming straight back, though.
But look at the power of that Yamaha. The Honda engine, of course, of Tim Reeves. They've moved on to Honda, having had many years on Suzuki's during their 3 World Championship years. And LCR maxed in suspension and those Yokohama tyres for Tim Reeves. So they're on Hondas, the Birchalls on Yamahas, the rest of the field, majority of those on Suzuki engines. But look at the front as they dive around Graham Hill one more time. And the local knowledge is kicking in now, because Tim Reeves is stretching away. Birchalls, this is not what they need. They need to get the points on the scores to keep them in with the hope of the championship.
As you can see there, look at Gregory Clues. He needs a helmet scraper. His head's almost touching the tarmac as they go around Clearways. Goodness knows what it looks like when he goes around Druids. Here we are on board with Alan Schofield and Steve Thomas, currently second in the championship, doing all they can to keep up with Reeves and Clues and the Birchalls. But watch this camera view as they head into Paddock Hill Bend. Frighteningly quick as they head down into Halewood Hill.
Well, Steve unkindly said the passengers have an easy time with it round here. Well, they seem to be working pretty hard to me, I have to say. Not possibly as hard as at Cadwell Park, but there is an awful lot going on there. You can see Greg Clues really having to hang out round the left-hander there at Graham Hill to keep things on track. Still, the battle for third position is just as tight, because Schofield, with that new black livery, is making the outfit as wide as possible. And it will mean that Barry James is going to have to drive right round him if he needs to get on the podium in this race 1.
Lap record around Brands Hatch Indy Circuit for an F1 sidecar, 47.8. That lap record is, I believe, shared between Tim Reeves and the great 10 times world champion Steve Webster. Looking a bit further back there, there's number 117, Bill Philp, back out on a sidecar. Great to see him. He knows his way around here, that's for sure.
Well, that man does as well, the 77, because Tim Reeves comes from Maidstone, literally a stone's throw down the road from here, so he knows this place possibly better than anybody. Look, the battle for third still going on. Cement dust being kicked up. We've had a few oil spills during the course of the day, but the marshals and the track crew doing their job as ever. Round Graham Hill and along the bottom straight there one more time, and the gap starting to extend a little bit there. Not so for third position, because Barry James and Mark Howard really pushing hard to get round onto third position. Here we're looking for them now. Here they come into Clearways. You can see the outfit starting to move a little bit. Steve said earlier the tyres really have a hard time with it here, Steve.
They do, and with the surface having been relaid here at Brands Hatch, it does mean that on a dry day, the tyres are actually too grippy on the circuit, which means that the rubber's getting torn to pieces. Certainly on the exit of corners such as Druids, where they lay a big black line as they apply the power. We see there going round. Tim Reeves, lap by lap, just stretching out a tenth or two per lap. Currently lapping at about the 48.5s. Funnily enough, all the way down from 1st to 18th. Lap times are only split by 2 seconds.
Greg Clues having a crafty look behind just to keep a check on things, and he can see that they are moving away. 49 Roger Lovelock there on the green outfit, not having such a good day today as the rest of the outfit stream through. You can see, if you look carefully, just off of the racing line, backing up what Steve said, there is a lot of debris off the racing line with rubber and some dirt and dust on there as well. So really that doesn't make things well if you drift off of that racing line.
Look at this great scrap here. Roger Body, number 44, and Lee Barrett with Bill Philp all over the back. There's Ian Guy, number 19, and Bill. Oh, this is brilliant racing. This is a little bit further back. So there are tussles all the way down the field, but at the front, Reeves and Clues are just completely faultless. They've not put a foot wrong so far all weekend, and it looks like they're doing the same here. They exit Graham Hill Bend onto the Cooper Straight. Birchells are still in touch, just about. And then there's that fine battle for third position between Schofield and Barry James.
Battles going on right the way down the field. The only place there's not a battle going on is at the front, because despite the Birchells' best efforts, they really can't get on touch with Tim Reeves at the moment. But three-time world champion, the man obviously knows what he's doing. Here we go, the number 4 going through. It is the Pottingers on another black outfit.
And that's Clark and Graham. Clark and Graham, number 90, they're in the sand at Clearways, and I can assure you that is going nowhere.
No, they're not exactly built for off-roading, are they, these things? So that is buried in the sand, so the end of their day. But as Steve said, perfect at the moment from our race leaders. A time to have a casual look round for Tim Reeves. Everything under control. The Honda working well, the Maxton suspension and the LCR chassis. But third place still under dispute. Greg Cluser there. Well, look how far he's hanging off. You can see his leg trailing in the air, but very smooth as they take the long line round Clearways and click off one more lap. 16 going through. That is Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson, and the 8 of Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes. As the rest of the outfit stream through, you can see they're getting onto the dirty patch there. That's when the bikes start to move around. Also, it's pretty hot here as well, Steve. That's having an effect with the track temperatures.
It is, yeah. Track temperature here at Brands Hatch is high this weekend, so that will affect tyre pressures and everything with the Sidecar outfits. OEC number 3, Barry James, one of the upcoming drivers in this Sidecar paddock, all over the back of Schofield and Thomas, looking to take what looks like it's going to be the final podium spot, because the Birchells are a little bit too far ahead. There's Peach and Richardson and Lovelock and Lawrence. Now, their lap times have dropped considerably. In fact, they're into the 48s themselves. So if they can start off the race like that, there's a chance they might be able to keep up with this top 3.
Greg Cluser virtually rubbing his shoulders on the tarmac there as they dive down Paddock Hill and up towards Druids. Here we go. As Steve said, unlike the solos, it's not so easy to overtake there around Druids Bend, but you can be sure that they will make their best efforts. The rest of the battle is going through. 16 on your shot there. Of course, Andy Pete's Charlie Richardson still having a good time, but another casual look round for Tim Reeves. Reeves and Clues currently sitting second in the World Championships as well, so with one win under their belts in Croatia. So they're having a good season.
Green machine there, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence being followed by the white, orange and green machine of Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson. There's the Pottingers, number 4, Gilbert and Allen, number 11, and then number 73. That's Chaplow and Evanson, also having a great weekend here at Brands Hatch.
Bit of a demonstration at the front, though, for Reeves and Clues. They've stretched out a good gap over the Birchells at the moment, and it is all going according to plan for the local man. Plenty of support behind him this weekend as well. The Birchells, though, well, it looks as though they're going to have to contend themselves with a strong second position at the moment. Third, though, that battle going on still as it has been right from the off.
This is going to hurt the Birchells a little bit, looking at that. Reeves and Clues getting away, and there's nothing that they can do about it, as you say, other than try and just take second position and 20 points. But there's certainly no love lost between them, as we see Barry James having a sneaky peek up the inside of Schofield and Thomas as they head into Surtees. There's Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes, number 8, as Reeves and Clues come round to complete yet another lap.
As Steve said, another lap is relentlessly clicked off by Tim Reeves at the front. Well, who's going to stop them at the moment? They had a perfect day yesterday, and it's looking good at the moment. Look at the gap they pulled out over the Birchells. No answer for the Mansfield brothers at the moment, but an even bigger gap for third position, and still it is Scud Schofield there, but Harry James pushing ever so hard. Now running a standard engine, Steve, like most of the teams seem to be.
Yeah, he was running that 16-year-old engine, which was quite powerful, but after it went at Cadwell Park, he's now using that standard engine, but he seems to be doing a good job still. He's a quality driver, and he's giving Alan Scott Schofield all sorts of problems. So Scott Schofield and Steve Thomas doing everything they can to hold on to third as we head into the last lap.
Last lap, Gregory Cluser looks under his elbow there and sees a long, long way behind the Birchells. So Tim Reeves can afford to take his time going past some of the slower riders. The number 44 there, which is Roger Body and Lee Barrett. But a last lap, a casual wave. Thank you very much, they say, as they go around and head for a certain victory here, and another 25 points on the board here in race 1 at Brands Hatch. So local boys, Tim Reeves and French passenger signalling number 1, Greg Clues. Don't forget, these two have only been together this season. It's their first season together, but looking at them, it looks as though they're going to have a big future and be together for an awful long time. Race 1 victory goes to Reeves and Clues, 2.5 seconds from the Birchall brothers, and third place Alan Schofield did hang on, but by the merest of margins from Barry James and Mark Howard in 4th position. So all smiles in the Reeves camp at the moment, and they'll be looking forward to race 2 to see if they can complete an absolutely perfect weekend. Here are the results of race 1. Reeves and Clues, Birchall second, Schofield and Thomas, you can see by the merest fraction of a second from James and Howard. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence in 5th place. Bellenhorst, Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson in 6th position. Further down we go. Scott Laurie in 14th, our race winner at Cadwell Park at the last round. And Bill Philp returning to action in 16th, and Roger Body there in 19th place. Riders who didn't finish, the Robinson, Farmer, Edwards, Smith and Clark.
So on the podium then, we can see Schofield and Thomas in 3rd, the Birchalls in 2nd, but it was a victory for Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Winners of that race, Tim Reeves and Gregory Clues. Tim, a great scrap at the front. It looked like, was there any contact coming out of Druids at all?
Yeah, we had a little bit of a rub, yeah, but I mean, when you're racing that close, it was an awesome race. We had a real good fight with Ben and Tom, and I'm sure they'll agree it was real good, clean racing. It was real good. You know, it gets the old art going, and I think it's what the crowd needs to see, and it's good for the class if we can put on shows like that. And yeah, he certainly made me work for it, and it's great. What a fantastic race, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, us too. It was a great scrap at the start, and then you managed to keep going and pumping in the lap times.
Yeah, I managed to. Once I got by the second time, I managed to just put a string 3 or 4 real good laps together, and just managed to break him. So. Yeah, it was good. It was good course racing, and he certainly made me work for it.
And Gregory, have fun?
Yeah, it's very good race. Big fight with Ben and Tom. I'm very happy. Good race. Thank you.
Well done to both of you.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Good job.
Cheers.
2nd place in that race, Ben and Tom Birchall. Ben, you got quite a good advantage to begin with. There was a good scrap between you and Tim. He admitted there was a bit of contact, but a good race nevertheless.
Yeah, good fair race. Yeah, we just managed to break the toe a little bit, I think, but fair dues to him. He come back strong. We learnt a bit more. We made a few changes for this one and gained a bit of time, and we'll go and do the same again and come back later on and see if we can stay in front.
Yeah, Tom, for the fans, it was a great race to watch at the start, and it'd be nice if you can keep it like that for race 2, certainly for the spectators. It looked like your nose was shaking its head a bit going into Paddock Hill. Do you have any problems at all there?
No real problems. It's just a fast corner, fast entry to it. The bike felt really good from yesterday. You made changes like Ben said, and it's just going in the right direction. Just a big thanks to Mitchells and Mansfield and Lawson Road Surfacing. Also Dave Alden Racing.
Well done to both of you. See you for race 2.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
3rd place for Scott Schofield and Steve Thomas. Epic battle between yourself and Barry James and Mark Howard. You must have enjoyed that, and pleased to be on the podium.
Yes, absolutely. To be back here again, especially down here in the backyard of all the southern contingent, which is really good. So I've had a mediocre qualifying, could have done better, but a few set-up problems, and I've got a new aero package on it, a new set of fairings, and they're getting quite a bit to get used to. So slowly but surely we're getting there, and the best thing about that, I've just dipped into the 48s, so that's my biggest thing I've wanted to do this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say that I noticed your lap times have dipped into the 48. Steve, from your perspective, how's it been? How's life been as a passenger this weekend at Brands Hatch?
Yeah, it's a good circuit. It's a passenger for, but the laps are short, so it's nice and easy. So that's a good all-round day, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, as usual, it's great to have you on the podium, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in race 2.
Hope so.
Thanks.
So as Reeves and Clues extend their lead at the top of the championship, can the Birchalls turn things around? Join us after the break and find out.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch. Here we can see there Tim Reeves and Greg Clues on pole position for the second of today's races here from Brands Hatch in the Euro F1 Sidecar Challenge. 2nd place on the grid, number 1, world champions Ben and Tom Birchall from Mansfield. And then lining up in 3rd, Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson, the LNW racing team. 4th on the grid, Barry James and stand-in passenger Mark Howard doing an excellent job. And then it's Scott Schofield and Steve Thomas that line up on row 3, just next to the lime green machine of Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. All the way down the grid, we see there Yangi, Ian Guy and Carol McBride lining up number 19. There's Peach and Richardson, number 16, L&W Racing. All the teams ready to go for this second race, Roger.
So as we wait for the green flag at the start, we have a problem straight away. Mark Howard's hand is up and Barry James is struggling with the number 3 outfit there. What's going to happen for those? They push the outfit off of the circuit. Well, that looks terminal. They are definitely going to miss the start of this race too. Let's hope they can get back in at some stage. Meanwhile, the 2 suspects, Reeves, Kluser and the Birchells, get the power down, and yet again Birchall's power into an early lead round Paddock Hill Bend. But let's see what Tim Reeves can do as he drives around the outside again. Who's going to come into Paddock Hill Bend? Good news for Barry James and Mark Howard. Whatever the problem is, it's fixed and they're back on circuit, but some way back. And exactly as in race 1, although they didn't get the start off of the line, Tim Reeves does drive into the lead round Druids Hill Bend and takes the lead already on this lap 1 of race 2.
Oh, the Birchells trying to go up the inside there, trying to make their way back into second position. But Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson, Chaz as he's known in the paddock, doing a sterling job. Oh, and Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence on the lime green machine going sideways there, Roger.
Action right the way through the pack on this first lap. Well, sidecars, that's what it's like. Action all the way through. But at the front, it is bad news for the rest of the field, because Tim Reeves and Greg Clues already starting to stretch away at the front. Look at the bikes twitching as they go around Paddock Hill, and you can see things are starting to get very edgy as they drive around there. At the front, though, Reeves, yes again, into a rhythm as he drives around Graham Hill Bend. Greg Clues has a casual look behind. The Birchells are through to second. Now then, we've got a race on. Birchells through to second as the number 90 there, John Clark and Stuart Graham, go right off the circuit onto the grass, but managed to keep going in a straight line.
Well, we saw number 73, Chaplow and Evanson, pull in on that last lap, so that's the end of their race already. But it's all down to Ben and Tom Birchall. Can they keep up with Reeves and Clues? Peach and Richardson then in third place, doing a great job. But once again, Reeves and Clues off to a fine start. That camera angle into Paddock Hill is so good to watch. Well, look at that. You wouldn't want to be a passenger, would you? Look at that.
Honda power of Reeves and Clues and the Yamaha power of the Birchells as they head one more time up to Druids Hill Bend. But look at the outfits going round. Well, the passengers, you say they're not doing much around there, but they seem to be working pretty hard round Paddock Hill, that's for sure. Watch Greg Clues as he looks behind just to check out and see where the Birchells are. And there they are, right on cue, coming into our shot. There they are on the big number 1 outfit, but being pressed hard by Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson with another good start from there. There is Roger Lovelock, the number 49 green outfit, in 5th position, right behind our man Scud Schofield on his new black outfit with a much more solid bodywork this weekend. He was talking about he has to get used to it. Now then,
that's Edwards and Wynn again. What a disastrous weekend for Edwards and Wynn, number 5. They pull out just at McLaren there. Problems for them.
So 2 no scores for them, so they will have to go away and get ready for Anglesey the next round, don't forget. But at the front, stretching away, Reeves and Clues. No one has an answer for them at the moment, but the Birchells, they have a problem, that's for sure, because the Lime Racing outfit there, the number 16 in shot, which is Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson, having a great start. But hang on, there's a hand up there. Greg Clues puts his hand up, so there is a problem somewhere. The Birchells are still racing, but Greg Clues definitely had his hand up, so there must be a problem somewhere. What can that be? The rest of the outfits haven't seen that.
Maybe he's waving to his mum on the sidelines there, Roger. Not quite sure what's happening, because he's back in position again now as they cross the line to complete another lap and head into Paddock Hill Bend. Reeves and Clues it is that lead then. Maybe, or hopefully they haven't got another problem like they did at Cadwell Park.
Well, he's using both hands to cling on at the moment, and the Birchells, in fact, have closed the gap again. So in second place, they've got a lot closer to Tim Reeves. Let's keep an eye on that for sure. Now, Greg Clues, well, whatever it was, they're both looking behind, but the Birchells steaming on, and they've gapped, certainly, the Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson by some distance. So the Birchells are on a charge at the moment. Can they do anything about it? They really do need this victory, Steve, don't they?
They do, yeah. It's very important for the championship, but I really do think that they're going to have to settle for second again round here. Tim Reeves is just too good. He's one of the best drivers in the world. I'm not saying that Ben isn't, because he's certainly superb. Current world champions, that says enough. Oh, and there's another outfit out. That's Ian Guy and Carol McBride. Oh, they're falling down like flies.
Well, as Steve said, the outfits are dropping out, but the only place there's not a problem, as it seems at the moment, let's hope we don't put the curse on it, is Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Well, maybe Greg was just waving at some fans in the crowd there. We'll wait and see. Second place Birchells have pulled out a significant gap over our third place crews. As we look further down, there was Scud Schofield in the background and Roger Lovelock as well.
Great view there of Gregory Clues' madness as he goes around clearways there, and there's definitely an arm up.
Yeah, that's not waving, that's for sure, and as they slow right down, so there is definitely a problem, and the red flags are out. So the race comes to a halt, red flags are out. Now then, let's see what the problem is, because Tim Reeves obviously saw something. There's the problem. The Birchells stopped on the side of the circuit, so that looks pretty terminal. So the Birchells are definitely out. The red flag has been waved, and cement dust. So oil is on the circuit, and as you can see, right on the racing line. So the marshals now spreading that cement dust in an effort to mop it all up. Meanwhile, while we wait for the restarted race, let's join Steve Day in the paddock, who's been celebrity hunting.
Just bumped into Frank Harper in the paddock here, and most of you will remember him from, I'm sure, Lock, Stock and Football Factory. I'm a big fan of yours myself. Great to see you here. What are you doing here?
Well, I got invited by Roger Body to come and see the sidecars, and had a great day out. Sidecars are immense, they're amazing. I haven't seen sidecars race for years, so it's always a good day out here. I live down the road, so it's it's good.
Fancy you go out there on your own or not?
No, I'm too old, and I'm too old basically, and also I mean, seeing them guys hanging off them sidecars, they've got to be mad. They've got to be absolutely barking mad. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, it's really great to see you and great to talk to you. I hope you enjoy the race when we get back underway.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much indeed. Cheers.
So the restarted race now, this is going to be a two-part race, and we'll add the scores up at the end. You can see the cement dust line because there was an awful lot of oil laid down right round the circuit, and some of it on some crucial areas. Meanwhile then, minus the Birchells, we've now restarted the race. But the usual story, it is Tim Reeves and Greg Clues who hit the front. The Birchells, though, this is really going to affect their championship now, because there's a big fat no score for them.
That's Carl Parkinson and Darren Tritton there. Roger just pulled off onto the grass. And as you say, Ben and Tom Birchall's championship hopes have been given a bit of a dash there. Tim Reeves then, well, it should be a relatively easy job for him at the front. I did notice, though, a fantastic start in the second part of this race for number 11, Gilbert and Allen, Simon and John. Brilliant stuff. There's Peter Richardson. There's number 11 in third, ahead of Scott Schofield and Steve Thomas.
But not such a good start there for Barry James and Mark Howard. But look at the cement dust being kicked up in the faces of the trailing riders as Tim Reeves and Greg Clues really just go through the motions now. They've won the two races leading into this one. They're on course for a perfect day and to extend their lead in the championship. As we said, they're currently running second in the World Championship as well. As we see the 49 of Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence go through our shot and round Druids Hill Bend. 44, another one drops out. Roger Body, Lee Barrett, our series organisers who drop out. So as Steve said earlier, there really are a lot of attrition going on and bikes and riders dropping out.
Here comes the Scud, number 15, up the inside of Bell and Hawes, number 8, but they're coming back as they go around Clearways Corner and into Clark Curve. It looks like Bell and Hawes on the cement dust have regained the advantage, but no one's catching Reeves and Clues up front. Peach and Richardson doing all they can in second, but it's just not happening.
As the pack do their best to ride through the dust clouds that are being kicked up as that cement dust has been put down, as we say, an awful lot of oil did go down, but credit to the track crew. They managed to have mopped most of it up and made it safe to be racing again. But you can see the outfit still moving around quite a bit. Reeves and Clues, though, how easy has it been for them? Perfect day for them on their home circuit. It really has been a nice, simple day's racing for them. Very, very tight circuit. They've got the setup right. Their engine has been working absolutely perfectly this weekend. But look at the racing going through. Schofield with that new black outfit of his. Still got some of that fluorescent yellow, though. He does love the yellows as they go through. Roger Lovelock on the green, following them through the pack. They didn't get the start this time. They need the points. But Reeves and Clues click off one more lap. The gap extending at the front. Just a day's practice for them.
Important to remember then, this is a two-part race, so what we see on circuit isn't necessarily going to be the overall result. Reeves and Clues were leading anyway, so we can almost count them as race leaders, and Peach and Richardson were in second at the time as well. But as far as third's concerned, I mean, what great drive by Simon Gilbert, John Allen, and of course Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes. They're pushing themselves right in the order. There's Gilbert and Allen, and there's Bell and Hawes, followed by Schofield, Thomas, Lovelock and Lawrence, and then it's Barry James and Mark Howard. So a great scrap for third.
Talking to Mark Howard there, of course he did passenger at the start of the season for the number 49 green outfit there, Roger Lovelock. So he's had a foot in both of those camps. So another lap is clicked off as they ride through the dust clouds. Reeves and Clues go through round Paddock Hill and dive down there up towards Druids one more time. It really has been exhibition stuff for them. Look at the gap at the front. Good, solid second place for Andy Peace and Charlie Richardson. Back on a standard engine there in second position. Third place, number 3, Barry James has now gone past Roger Lovelock, so another position gained for the number 3 outfit.
Yeah, this has been clinical driving from Tim Reeves and fantastic passenger work from the very flexible Gregory Clues. They've just not put a foot wrong all weekend, as we see Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes going through their number 8, right on the tail of Gilbert and Allen. It's great to see some new names up at the sharp end of these races. Those of you that want to come and watch this Sidecars, I suggest you get yourself over to North West Wales over the weekend, the 18th and 19th of September, because they're going to be there live racing for the next round. So and it's a great circuit over in Anglesey as well.
That's right. Once you've seen Sidecar racing in the flesh, you will be a convert. Trust me, you will come back again. Tim Reeves, though, 38 years old now from Maidstone, 3-time world champion, don't forget. So he's been there and he's done it. Third in 2009 World Championships, currently running second to Pavarinta in this year's series. But Greg Clues, first year with him, and they look very, very settled. Second place seems to be in the hands now of Andy Peets, Charlie Richardson, but brilliant ride for Simon Gilbert in third place, the number 11. Best result of the season for them.
It looks like a little bit further back, I'm looking on the timing screens at the moment, it looks like we've lost Ken Napton and Tony Belsey. They've gone AWOL, as have Holland and Watson and Smith and Furman as well, so we've really have had quite a few DNFs this time.
Scud Schofield taking an interesting line round the Clearways turn there, but the last lap of the weekend, and it's on course for an absolute picture-perfect weekend for the 77. Tim Reeves already being congratulated by Greg Clues. They're just celebrating now. There are many fans here this weekend. Well, I'm sure there'll be a big party in the camp after this race.
Yeah, it's theirs to lose now, the championship. With 3 rounds to go, anything can happen, of course, and it usually does in sidecar racing. This is the big battle for third. I really wouldn't want to put a bet on who's going to get that over the 2-part race aggregate.
It looks as though Phil Bell, the number 8, has got through to third. But going through the dust for the final time today, celebrating from Greg Clues, Tim Reeves from Maidstone, the local home hero, takes victory, number 3 of the weekend. They pat the bike. Everything has worked perfectly this weekend. The Honda engine, the LCR chassis, the Maxton suspension, and particularly the Yokohama tyres. So there we are, race results. That is the aggregate race results. Reeves and Clues, Peach and Richardson, Schofield and Thomas in third, Lovelock and Lawrence, Bell and Hawes, good result for them in 5th, and Gilbert and Allen brilliantly in 6th position. Further down, the Pottingers in 11th, Drown and Swift 12th, and 13th for the Sloanes. DNF, if you're interested, means it did not finish. So as you can see, an awful lot of outfits were in that position. It really was a race of attrition. Right down to the Birchells there, who had that big fat no score, which is going to seriously dampen their championship aspirations.
Well, on the right there, Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes receive an award for their Morris Lubricants best races, and good achievement for them. Brilliant results. First place, though, went to Reeves and Clues, second to Peach and Richardson, and third went to Scud Schofield and Steve Thomas. Third place for Scud Schofield and Steve Thomas. Steve, we'll start with you this time. Points on the board.
Yeah, very surprised with that one, especially with the oil on the track. So we were struggling really bad towards the end. Hopefully, we had a good ride, so fair play to third place, so we're happy with that now.
With it being a 2-part race, were you aware that you were going to make the podium, Scud, at all?
No, surprised to be truthful, because I thought there's such a gap in front and you're not knowing who was who and where we finished. Like, it was a bit of on tenterhooks. Well, yeah, luckily we got it again, so more good points, so it's good.
As you were both saying, a lot of seconds and thirds. You're looking for that race win at Anglesey.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully.
We're looking for it everywhere, but it seems to be eluding us somewhat, so must try harder.
Well done to you both. We'll see you there.
Thank you very much.
Second position in that race there, Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson. Very tricky circumstances out there, but a great result.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good start to the weekend, qualified third, good lap time, but we've had power issues the whole weekend. Fuel pump, well, it turned out to be. We sorted it last race, and then this happened. We thought, oh no, but managed to finish the race, and we're all happy. So, yeah, tricky, but good.
And Charlie, one step better next time at Anglesey?
Hopefully. We thought we might have them here because we were close on lap times. But Anglesey, it's a new track for everyone, so hopefully it's a level playing field for us.
Yeah, hopefully, and it'll be good to see you up there again, so good luck for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
Winners of that race, Tim Reeves and Gregory Clues. Tim, it's been a perfect weekend for you.
Yeah, fantastic. 3 out of 3. It's just what we needed after the bit of bad luck we had at Cabell and then at Alton. So, yeah, it's good. It's put our championship back on track, and everything went to plan. Yeah, it's a brilliant weekend. Over the moon.
Gregory, you must be very happy.
It's a fantastic race, fantastic weekend. I'm very happy.
Well done for the points, and we'll see you at Anglesey.
Thanks very much. Good job.
So the championship takes another turn after the disappointment at Cadwell Park for Reeves and Clues. They have a perfect day here and extend their lead at the top. Schofield and Thomas continue their consistent run and keep second place from the Birchells, who need to turn things around. Peach and Richardson there in 4th place. Further down, we've got Holland and Watson 15th, Parkinson Tritton 16th. Gilbert and Allen, courtesy of their good race 3 result, in 18th position, and Shand and Edwards in 20th. So after a brilliant day's racing here at Brands Hatch, we're heading off to northwest Wales to the island of Anglesey for round 6 of the championship. Hope you can join us then for some more exciting sidecar racing action.